Hey, guess what, folks? All my off-lane practice is about to pay off. Zinx, my new off-lane feline friend, has joined her pals, Howitzer and FaZe, from their days back at Tryon Industries, and you know what? I couldn't be more excited. Zinx handles differently than most heroes in Paragon because of her mana regen capabilities and how that mana regen influences her ability to mitigate damage. As always, these videos are a quick pit stop of helpful tips for the ravenous bunch of you folks out there that want to pounce on someone in PvP without any knowledge of the newest hero's kit. So let's get right on in there ourselves. Tip number 1. Zinx has two toggle abilities, Kitty Claws and her ultimate, Dirty Healing. They can both be toggled on and off. Leaving on one or the other when you don't want to can be detrimental to your gameplay, so pay attention to those toggles. Specifically Kitty Claws, because that one will drain up your mana like nobody's business. So really pay attention to that. Tip number 2, master Ricochet Stun. This is the ability that's going to make or break you during big team fights and basically in any skirmish or fight that you have. This is a skill shot stun on the first enemy target that you hit, and each nearby target will receive a stun that lasts longer depending on the number of enemies hit. So it's going to ricochet off of the first target that you hit, and it's kind of bounce like a boomerang, if you will, between all the enemies that are nearby. So pay attention to heroes, enemy heroes that are in those big huge minion waves pushing towards your tower, because those are the ones that are going to get jacked up if they're sitting in their minions or if they're in big team fights. So really pay attention to that. Tip number 3, bad medicine is a charge up ability. I can't tell you how many times I tapped instead of held the button, which decreases the range of the ability. So with that in mind, as you're approaching enemies, make sure you understand the timing of the charge so you can gauge when it's appropriate to release and deal that damage over time. It's also great to sit inside the ability to force enemies to take damage. Really pay attention to that one. Tip number 4, basic attacks reign supreme on Zinx. If you struggle with landing ranged basic attacks, you'll struggle with Zinx. Practice landing those basics, because most of her damage, when combined with something like Kitty Claws, for example, which is her damage over time, is reliant on your ability to land those basic attacks. If you can't hit basic attacks, you're going to be relying on bad medicine, which is not what you want to utilize as your primary damage dealing ability. Okay, so really hone in on focusing on those basic attacks. Tip number 5, Zinx is super tough to kill. Her Dirty Healing ultimate, which heals 50% of damage taken or mitigates damage by 50%, means that she can last in skirmishes and team fights for a very long time. There are some fantastic, absolutely tremendous cards that you can couple with her kit to create some truly compelling builds. I can't wait to see some of the build videos that come out from the community. I'm not going to obviously share those yet. I'm going to wait for you guys to figure them out and then put them out there before the big card system rework. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and you have a firm grip of the concept of mana management and love being the last person standing in fights, Zinx is right up your alley. Now, I hope you enjoyed these quick tips. If you did, make sure to pounce on that like button and subscribe so I don't become the next lab rat in Tryon Industries. Till next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Stay frosty.